This is a model of a car engine. This is the dipstick. Just gonna fit this back in.
Okay.
And these are the pistons. They go up and petrol is put into them, and it goes up, and then when it's very far up, they add a spark into it, and then there's a little explosion which forces the pistons to go down, and one of the valves open to let all the fumes out.
Now show me where all the valves are.
All the valves are just up here.
See if we can get them.
Those things with the springs on them.
Okay, and the springs go up and down, is it?
No, it's when I turn it on like this.
Okay, let's turn them on and see what happens. Okay, so what happened there?
Well, the pistons went up,
Okay.
but there wasn't any petrol in them because it would just fall out into the bottom.
Right. Well, in this case, this only because it's a model. So if we have all the pistons in different positions, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's 4 strokes in the engine. So the first stroke is the pistons go up.
Yeah.
And what's that called?
Compression.
That's compression. Yeah, the first one is actually when the piston comes down, we get all the petrol in.
Yeah.
Right, that's right. So how does that work? And this is what on these bits on the top, is it?
And when that turns, it actually moves the timing belt.
Where's the timing belt?
Over here.
Right, okay.
And it which turns that little knob there, which turns
the crankshaft, isn't it?
The crankshaft.
Okay, and the crankshaft, what do we do with the crankshaft?
Opens and closes the valve.
Right, so that causes the valves to open and close, and that allows the petrol to come in and out, is it?
The fan cools the top of the engine.
Very good.
So it doesn't overheat.
And what's this thing here called?
And this?
Yeah.
What is it?
That's the fan belt, isn't it?
And
that
that's
turns
the fan belt.
Right, so that's also connected down at the bottom. Right. So what are we using the fan for?
To cool down the top of the engine.
Very good. Now,
because it gets very hot when the explosions happen.
Okay, so that keeps the engine nice and cool. So what do we have around here? What were you pressing?
I was pressing this button, which connects to this electric motor, which is connected onto that, those pistons, that makes it go up.
Well, I think you see here the electric motor. Okay, so these are all the wires are connected to this distributor cap, isn't it? And that causes your sparks.
Look at the lights.
Right, so you can see the lights. So that's a spark going off, is it?
Yep.
So when there's enough petrol and it's in compression, we hit a spark.
Yes.
And that causes the piston to do what?
It causes the pistons to open.
To go down, isn't it?
Yeah, to go down.
Okay, so here's our little explanation. We have a quick look here. So this is the first of a 4-stroke engine, right? So you've built all these different bits.
Yes.
So what do we have here?
I built the pistons first.
You built the pistons first. So in this particular case, what happens is we see the valves are allowed to open, right? And then we take in some petrol, and then our piston goes down. And then after that, what happens here? So we have petrol in it. Are the valves open or closed?
Closed.
And the piston goes
up.
Goes back up. So that's compression, is it?
And then it goes up and the spark is sent in.
And that's done by our distributor. So this causes the thing to spark, and we saw the sparks in here. Yep.
And then
what
it
happens when the spark
makes
happens?
A big explosion.
Oh, right, okay, big explosion.
Because it's so compressed and the spark helps the explosion. And then it's forced back down, and one of the valves open to let the fumes out.
Alright, so when that moves down, that means we've moved all of your pistons here move down, and that's moving this piece here, is it?
Yeah.
And that green thing again was
Yeah,
the.
that was the timing belt.
And the timing belt is connected to the crankshaft. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right.
And the crankshaft, when that turns around, that turns to what?
The fan.
And it also turns to wheels, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's used to power the engine. Okay, Connor.